Where are you from? It's a simple question, right? For me, it was complicated. Everywhere, I'd say, people would laugh. I would pretend to laugh. Inside, I was thinking, did they mean where was I born? Or where I lived the longest? Or where I left my heart the last time we packed up the moving truck? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and friends, I was an Army brat. For the first 17 years of my life, I lived like a tumbleweed with a backpack. By the time I was 10, we had moved 7 times. I went to 13 different schools in 12 years. I could unpack a house in 24 hours and make a new best friend in 10 minutes flat because I had to. I was also the oldest of 4 kids. I learned early on how to lead, how to protect, and especially that it was my job to make sure that my siblings kept smiling, especially when they had to say goodbye again. I was good at my job. I could tell a new school's vibe before we ever stepped in the classroom and give them advice on how to handle it. I could scope out the lunchroom and pick out all of the friendly faces so they knew who to make friends with. We became experts at pretending to fit in, all the while trying to figure out where we actually belonged. Somewhere between Hawaii and Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Kansas, even I started to wonder, who am I if I don't come from somewhere? When friends would talk about their childhood homes, I would stay silent. I never had a tree house. Heck, I never even had a room that was always mine. I had cardboard boxes marked fragile and friends I left behind like bookmarks and stories I was never going to get to finish. I remember one time I went over to a friend's house and she had those pencil height marks in her door frame. Did any of you have that? I didn't. I stared at them like they were magic. To me, every single line was a piece of a permanent life. I really wanted roots like that. Then one day, my little sister, who was 4 at the time, came to me. Christy, where do we live now? I knew she meant the name of the town that we had just moved to. The name of just another town didn't seem like a good enough answer. Right here, I said, and pointed to the space between us. Wherever we are together, that's where we live. She put her arms around me and whispered, then I live in your hug. She bounded off like it was a perfectly logical explanation. I paused. That was when I realized that a home isn't 4 walls. A home is 4 people who each take a piece of each other everywhere they go. It's late night whispers in a shared bedroom. It's inside jokes that nobody ever understood but us. It's birthdays celebrated across 3 different time zones, but always with that same birthday cake. Yellow cake with chocolate frosting that my mom would make. It's my mom who can make an absolutely empty house feel warm and cozy with just a blanket, a candle, and her smile. It's my dad standing proud in uniform and reminding us that duty wasn't his job, it was our life. Oh, it wasn't always easy. I remember so many nights sleeping on a hard floor, waiting for the moving truck that was going to bring our few possessions. Somewhere in all of that struggle, we became a unit. We learned how to adapt. We learned how to let go and how to hold on. Most of all, we learned that love isn't tied to a zip code and that roots don't always grow downward. Sometimes they grow inward. The strongest people aren't always the ones who stayed in one place. Sometimes they're the ones who had to rebuild their home over and over again, not from brick and mortar, but from patience, resilience, from laughter and loss and love. Where am I from? I am from pillow forts in dozens of different hotel rooms. I'm from the strength of a mom who always made every house feel like home. I'm from the fierce pride of a dad who served with honor. I'm from my siblings, my little battle buddies, my built-in best friends. I am from wherever my family is. I am from their hugs that always said, we are together, rooted not in land, but in each other, rooted in love. Mountain Toastmaster.